Good afternoon YouTube, and welcome back to Warwick Road. It could be a quick update today with a layout update on what I've been up to and a couple of projects I've been working on downstairs, and a long lost project that I'd totally forgotten about that had only come to light when I was clearing out under the layout to make way for a storage yard. So firstly, I'd like to thank everyone that subscribed and sending really great comments in. I do respond to everybody, and it's really nice to see that people are following the layout and like what I do. So for that, many thanks. I really appreciate that. And also welcome some new subscribers since the last video, so again thank you for choosing to subscribe, and I hope that with what I'm doing I can keep you interested in the journey to turning this into a working model railway. At the moment it's not working because I've got so much track and it's dirty, so I've actually got to spend a couple of hours up here cleaning all the track because I've not used it. Been up here running trains probably for about 6 weeks, so it needs a good clean. And where I've been doing the storage yard, I've got lots of junk everywhere, so I need to get everywhere cleaned off. So I've got some afternoons free coming up. It's nice and warm outside, so I'll probably get up here, get it clean, and then get some trains running. But in front of you, this is an area that I did spend some time on, and I had a little corner here where the track goes down into the storage yard. Didn't know what to put, thought about allotments and stuff like that, but didn't fancy that. But on occasions I play golf, so I thought, well, I'm going to have a little bit of a whole of a golf course. So there's a tee box. I'd always wanted to have a little stream, so I've got a stream, a wooden bridge. So all I've got to get now is some scenic water to put to finish that scene off. So just a little corner filler. So to Project Electrostar. So some history with these two units. This is a 3 and a 4 car Electrostars, which for those of you that don't live in southeast England, these are the third rail units that took over from the old Mark 1 slam door class 423s. So these are southern trains. There's Gatwick Express, what was southeastern trains. Great Western used them with overhead pantographs, but these are local to me. So about 8 or 9 years ago I went down to the Worthing Model Railway exhibition, and there's a layout there which I really like called Loftus Road, and on Loftus Road was a 4 car Electrostar in southern livery and also Thameslink livery. What impressed me about them is they were built, they're scratch built, and then there's no, only just recently is a company on eBay offering the body shells. So there was an article posted in one of the monthly railway magazines, I can't remember which one, showing how they were made, and it was also, I think it was on RM Web, how they were made. And because it's local to me, I decided to have a go. And one of the guys on the layout, a guy named James Makin, made the cab ends and some underframe detail and sold them. So I picked up a couple of sets of the cab ends, and these are converted from Bachmann 168 DMUs, which I picked up 3 around the same time as I first saw the layout, because originally I was going to be doing, because I'd got these 3 DMUs, I was going to be doing like East Anglia, somewhere like that, with these 168s bombing up and down. But then obviously I changed my mind when I saw that I could have something that I'd have to build it that was local to me. Now my modelling skills aren't great, and this was a huge task, and to get these this far took me about 3 to 4 months of tweaking. I only got an airbrush last year, so this was all, I think initially the base coat of white was with a spray can and the roof, and the rest of it was all hand painted. And so these got put into storage because I then didn't have the skills to convert to DCC. When I'd converted the layout to DCC about 4 years ago, I only remembered them when I was moving stuff out to make way for the storage yard, that I found these, dusted them off, and what was I going to do? So no option, I was going to keep them and run them. So I'll have to go back into those original magazines. I've still got them somewhere, dig it all out, re-look at it. The underframe detail isn't correct, because when I just bought the cabs to start with, because I wasn't sure if the project would work. They don't have any lights because, again, my modelling skills are not great enough that I can put lights into them, so I might have to send them away to have the lights fitted. And there's no power to them because the Electrostar coaches are shorter than a Bachmann DMU coach. So a 3-car Bachmann DMU is almost the same length as a 4-car Electrostar. So you have to cut down, so in the middle of the car there should be 5 windows, and the Electrostar there's only 4. So you have to cut out a section, which means obviously for the power car you have to cut the chassis into 3 and then cut the drive shafts down. And it's just the fact that I haven't mastered putting the drive shafts back together is why they're not running on DC. So that's something I've got to do, and I've got to figure it out. But there was lots of technical detail showing you how to do it, but again, it was past my skill level. So I'm determined to get these up and running, because I've put them up on the layout and I think they look, for my layout, they look absolutely fantastic. I couldn't believe it when I just decided I'll put them up and see what they look like at the station. And this could be any scene in South East London now. This really does set it off for me, the fact that I've got southern trains here. Also I've got southwest trains, class 450, which will fit in well with these, because they do cross at certain points in South London. So this is an ongoing project. I just thought I'd show you what I'd got, what I'd been working on. So I've got another Bachmann 3-car DMU that I had tried to weather, but you know, again, didn't have a spray, didn't have a airbrush, sorry. So I'd used a spray can, but got too close and it made a mess. So I had another Bachmann DMU that just didn't run. So I swapped the bodies over it, and I've got an Anglia one to run and a Chiltern train that I messed up. So what I'm going to do is, if I can get hold of some more of the cab ends and the underframe detail, I will look at doing another Electrostar, but the Gatwick Express livery, which is red and white, which again is striking colours, which will look again fantastic on the layout. So knowing what I know from what I've got here, I'm going to attempt at some point to model the red of the Gatwick Express. But while I'm doing that, I will also be touching these in, because I'm sure if I look now, I'll be able to get decals, I'll be able to, you know, the cant rail, I can paint over that and then get the proper cant rails, because when I did this I didn't know that you could buy that. So this is all hand painted, so again, that's something that I can easily get replaced, but it'll just need obviously taking the paint off. So just thought I'd share that with you. That's something that I will be working on in the future. So another project I've worked on is weathering. I'm not confident enough with a airbrush to be spraying loads of paint over locomotives. So I bought this second hand from Rails of Sheffield, and it's a lovely locomotive. I really like this one, but I wanted it to look like it had a hard life on the railway, so I used a technique off of YouTube from a channel called McKinley Railway, and it was a young lady that was showing you how to weather stock by using oil paints. And the beauty of the oil paints is that it takes a couple of days to dry, so you can continually keep tweaking it. So this was absolutely filthy when I did the first pass, and then just with a brush you just brush it down. So I've had a go and I'm really happy with it. I can get the streaks down the side, I can get the grime, the sleeper grime and everything into all the little nooks and crannies, and I'm really happy with that method. So I bought a few more of the colours, different colours, reds and blues, to start just gently weathering some of the stock, but just brushing it down with green and white and like a dust colour paint gets a really good effect. Still a little bit to do on the roof, but it won't get any dirty in this. It'll just be to just tone down the roof, because everything is shiny plastic when it's new. Drivers in there, managed to dirty the windscreen up a little bit. I don't know if it shows up there, to show the areas outside of where the wipers go. But yeah, my first attempt at using oil paints, and I think my preferred method rather than weathering powders. So pleased with the outcome of the oil paints. I've decided just to gently tone down the GWR Mark IIIs, my HST set, literally just the underframe, grime it up a bit, and the roof just tone it down because it was gloss black, just to again see that it gets washed every night, the body size, but the underframe and the roof don't get touched. Just give it a bit more of a weathered, a little bit more realistic look. Another project I've been working on over the last few months is this. So this is from a company called Road Transport Images. They're online, and they make kits, so you can buy the chassis, you can buy different cabs and different bodies, so you can mix and match to what you want, from 1950s, 60s, 70s, 80s and into the 2000s with this DAF. The one thing that I liked about this is where I live, the southeast, a lot of construction at the moment. These are all over the place, 8-wheel tippers, so had to have one for the layout. So it's got a driver in the cab. I've weathered it a bit, and I'm not sure whether to leave it empty or put a load in there, but I think I might just leave it empty and just weather inside when I can get some pictures of what the inside of a tipper truck body would look like. But I'm really pleased with this. I've got another kit which is a skip lorry, and then I've got another one that's going to be like a articulated but a very short trailer, the sort of we get round my local area that deliver to the little food stores, tiny little things. So I'm going to do those, but probably in the winter when I've got time downstairs, little projects I can crack on with. But yeah, that's something I'd been working on. So I'm going to wrap this video up now. I said it'd only be a short update. I'd just like to thank everybody that's taken the time to watch, comment. As I said at the beginning, it's really appreciated that people find this layout interesting, and I hope I've shown you through the updates and stuff I've been working on that there is some progress. Progress on the storage yard has stalled simply because I'm still waiting for the track to come through the post. It was supposed to be here today, but I've had nothing from Hermes to say when it will be delivered, so I've got to keep an eye out for that. So I've obviously got to put dropper wires and everything in there. It's difficult because I've got so much stuff in the loft that just to get underneath the layout, it took me a couple of hours just to move everything out of the way to just start measuring up to put the board underneath. But it's work in progress, so once I've got some track down, there's just a couple of lanes of tracks, there's nothing interesting to see. So as soon as I've got that done, then I will come back to you, and hopefully by that time all the track's cleaned and I can actually show trains going off of the main layout down into the storage yard, which will just be used really to hold my wagons in, because where I keep taking wagons out of boxes, I've found a lot of handbrake wheels and some of it's got quite fine detail, and I've damaged a couple, and they're not cheap, even by second hand, they're still not cheap. So I wanted somewhere just to leave the wagons hooked up in rakes, that all I've got to do is get a locomotive out of a box, which is not an issue, run it down to the yard, pick up whichever rake I want to run, and it comes out of the yard. And there's far less handling of any of the stock, so that's the plan. Because sometimes to do a running session, you'll notice it's always the J&A wagons, because they're on the layout and it's easier just to keep them on the layout than it is to say, take them all off, put them back in their boxes, get new ones out. So this way I can chop and change, and the running sessions for me and for the videos will be far more interesting. But I'm going to sign off here. Hope everyone's well, enjoying the lovely weather, and again, thank you very much for your interest in Warwick Road. For me personally, it's really appreciated. I'll be back soon, so happy modelling, stay safe, and thanks for watching. Bye bye.